And after hours, we anybody care to guess what we recognized after that? Okay, I'll cat's out of the bag. It's demos. We recognize demonstrations, guys, and we do so because getting a high volume of demos is a key indicator to having a high volume of sales. One of the reasons why Chase Bacon greened out yesterday was not because he sold every person that he met yesterday. Matter of fact, he sold less than half, about half the people that he met. But he happened to demonstrate to 7 people yesterday. And if you're doing the math at home, if you're working a regular 5-day week and do 7 a day, that's tracking for 35 demonstrations, which would put Kate, which would put Chase as the number one agent for last week. So, guys, as you can see right here, when we recognize people that do 25 or more. So I'm going to remove someone who didn't do 25. And last week we had exactly out of 37 people that are on our that should be on our morning meetings, we had 3 people do 25 or more demonstrations, guys. So that right there tells me we've got a bit of a demo shortage going on right now. And anytime that there is a sales shortage, we need to look no further than the amount of demos that we're doing. It is a direct indicator of our performance. So I wanted to just kind of start off with that, with sharing that there is a little bit, we are a little bit demo challenged right now, and that's okay. This is the 5th week of the year. We've got time to turn it around, but we've got to scrub that annualized thinking. We can't just think that, oh, sometime later in the year it'll take care of itself and we'll just start getting a whole bunch of demos. If you believe that to be true, go back and look at your stats for last year and see if in November or September, sometime later in the year, if your demos all of a sudden spiked from 20 to 30. I bet you they didn't. So it's got to happen immediately, and it's got to be a decision that's made. So I want to share with you guys, I was actually looking for material on Tuesday for this call, and I just kind of did a search for the value of 30 demos. And it was funny. About once a year, I would find an email that I created and sent out to the team on this very topic. So I wanted to share a couple, and that just tells me it's not an isolated one-time thing, guys. It's something that creeps in every now and then. Okay, and we've got to be real careful that we identify those trends and that we snap out of it and get things going right back. Otherwise, we end up with trends and we end up with habits, but those aren't the type of habits that we want. That would fall into the category of bad habits, doing less than 30 demos. Doing 30 or more would fall into the category of of a good habit. So I wanted to share a couple of messages that I'd sent out, and then I'm going to do a little bit of training. There's a 3-part training I'm doing today on demos, and the what, the why, and then how. We're going to talk a little bit about all 3 of those. So we invested some time Monday discussing the value of raising our effort, focus, and intensity level in the field by letting the demo goal card help keep us focused on getting one demo every 90-minute period. So first and foremost, guys, use your demo goal card. That's a big thing that will help you get more demos. I had a really great chat on Friday with one of our agents, and we talked about using the demo goal card, but not just having it there as a piece of paper, but actually using it to crystallize your goal periods. And guys, what I mean by crystallize your goal periods is when you look down at your demo goal card, okay? And guys, just to be clear, 6 demos a day is nothing more than a demo every 90 minutes over the course of 9 hours. So if you start at 8 and you end at 5, okay, that's 9 hours, as long as you're working and not taking any big breaks during the day. If you are taking a lunch break, then it might be starting at 7:30 or 8 and going to 5:30. Okay, so yeah, first off, it's just an hour, a demo every 90 minutes. And if we're going more than 90 minutes, guys, it means that our head is out of the ball game, and we're probably out there in la la land thinking about something besides what we ought to be focused on right there during work hours. So Said I found a couple of handouts left on the conference room table Monday while cleaning up, so I wanted to make sure that you have a copy for your records. Again, each demo under 30 that you do has an opportunity cost of $2,880 of first year commissions and another $1,080 of renewal income annually. So if you were to get 29 demos per week over the course of a year, a lot of us would think, oh, what's one demo? Big deal. Well, 29 demos a week instead of 30. It costs you about $4,000 of income over the course of a year. So you might think that and go, well, that's not a big deal. $4,000 over a year, no big deal. But what if you're doing 25? What if you're doing 22? That's pretty significant. So putting in 20 demos a week, averaging 4 a day or 1 every 2 hours instead of getting in 6 demos, 1 every hour and a half, carries an opportunity cost of $28,800 of first year commissions and another $10,800 of lifetime renewals. And that's based on a 40-4 contract. Okay, you need to put in your actual numbers, your actual contract to figure what the true opportunity cost is for you. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on your contract. Okay. So, and it says here, everyone's on a 40% contract once they've achieved 80,000. That's the old pay scale. It's now you get to 40% at 50,000, quite a bit sooner. So everyone has some pretty aggressive personal sales goals. And after reviewing them on Tuesday, here's one thing I know for sure. You will need to learn how to get in 30 or more demonstrations a week to hit them. There is no way around that. Okay. So guys, you got to figure out how important are your goals to you to hit, and are they important enough for you to start forming the habit of doing 30 demos. If you're doing 6 demos per day. So hold on one second. Let me pull up. Hopefully it's here in Adobe Acrobat. It's not. I'll use this old brown version, I guess. It's not the one that I had pulled up. Actually, maybe it is over here on this. No. Here we go. Yes, here's the one. All right. The best laid plans. So guys, this is, again, I want you to understand the why first, and then we're going to go into the how to. But I sincerely hope that you're really, really paying attention to this. But guys, doing 30 demos per week over the course, assuming that you work 48 weeks a year, 48 times 30 is 1,440 demos. That is how many demos you should be doing annually. Now, it's hard to look at the year and go, all right, I'm going to do 1,440 demos. It's even hard to look at a week and go, I'm going to do 30 demos this week. Sometimes it can be a daunting task to start a day at 8 a.m. and say, I'm going to get 6 demos today. Guys, what's really, really simple and not that difficult is to look at your watch at 8:30 a.m. and say, okay, I've got 90 minutes. I've got from now until 10 o'clock to do a demo, to show the policy one time to one human. Okay. And guys, when I say crystallize your goal periods, when I say you look at your watch and it's 10:56 and you don't have a demo, guys, if you're not crystallizing your goal periods and you're not using a demo goal card or some tool to keep you focused, it's easy to look at your watch at 9:56 and go, oh, I've got 7.5 more. I've got 7 more hours to get 6 demos. I got plenty of time. And then we don't have a sense of urgency. It's a whole different deal to look at your watch at 8:56 and go, man, I've only got 4 minutes. I got 4 minutes to start a demo with somebody. Boom. There's a house with 2 cars in the driveway, or there's a business, there's a person sitting at the desk in that business. I'm going to go show it to them. And guys, you walk in there with a spring in your step and a smile on your face, and you give your normal approach. And if for any reason they don't say, sure, show it to me, or you don't get into a demonstration, you just stop and you do what I used to do all the time to help myself get 6 demos a day. And I would do what's called the brutal honesty approach. I'd say, hey, Joe, can I ask for your help on something? Listen, I've got to show my policy 6 times a day, once every hour and a half. And it's been an hour and 26 minutes before I showed it last. And my manager, if I don't do 6 demos a day, this is called third party blaming. It's a very, very good tool. Your clients use it all the time when they procrastinate, when they give you the spouse objection. It's third party blaming someone who's not there. My manager, oh, he is a slave driver. He gets all on me if I don't get my demonstrations in. Can I just give you a quick peek so you know what it is? I don't want you to promise me you're going to sign up. It's totally cool if you don't, but I've got to at least show it to you. And guys, what the response that you're going to get a lot of times is someone rolling their eyes and going, okay, fine, but you're wasting your time. And guys, I'm promising you right now, you're not wasting your time. That person telling you you're wasting your time has no idea how you're compensated, has no idea what a demonstration is worth to you. No idea. So don't listen to them, just show it to them. Okay. Listen to the person that's been doing this for 20 years. Listen to your manager. Go ahead and get the demo. Guys, Peter used to always share, you've got to give 30 bad demos in a week before you're ever going to give 30 good ones. And it doesn't matter if your skill level gets really good. You know, you might start off in your career selling 1 out of 7 or 1 out of 6. But guys, even if you get your closing percentage to Rob McLean and Rachel Hutchinson levels where you're closing 50 or 60%, if you're only doing 12 or 13 demos a week or 15 or 18 demos a week, you're still going to be very capped with the amount of production that you can have. But if you raise your closing percentage to 50% and you're doing 30 demos, that's 15 transactions a week, guys, and you'll be pretty excited about what your 1099 will read when you're doing 30 demos and protecting 50% of them, or even a third of them. I promise you'll like it. But guys, back to the chart here. 30 demos a week over the course of a year. It's 1,440 demonstrations. Okay, guys. And again, this is just a small thing. Let's start with the positive. Let's say you do more than 31, one extra per week. That's 1,488 for the year. That's an extra 48 demos for the year. That's the equivalent of working an extra 1.6 weeks. Okay. Just a bonus, 1.6 weeks. It also, oops, I didn't realize that I was going, that wasn't good. Anyway, so it's also like making an extra 8 sales, selling an extra $7,200 of premium, and you'll also make an additional $2,880 of first year income and an extra $1,080 of renewals. Okay. Guys, please don't think because you don't see renewals immediately that they don't exist. I promise you they do. Okay. Renewals are very, very real. Just because you don't want to act like a 6-year-old and just because it's not in front of you right now, pretend it doesn't exist. It really does. So it's not just 2,800 of cash flow, or it's not just the 60% of the 2,800 your advances. That's what we see. But guys, what you see, that's about half of your income. The other half is coming as long as you're creating it. Guys, the adverse can be said for doing 1 demo less. Again, we might look at that and go, man, I did 6 demos 4 different days, and then I got 5 on Friday. That's pretty good, right? Yeah, it is pretty good. It costs you 48 demos. It costs you it's like taking 1.6 weeks of vacation. It's like, it's going to have 8 less sales, 7,200 less premium. It'll cost you just under $3,000 of first year commissions and just over $1,000 of renewals. Okay, guys, let's say you did 5 a day instead of 6 a day. It's only 1 demo, right? It's only 1 demo difference, but 5 a day, guys, is 25 a week. That's 1,200 for the year instead of 1,440. Okay, it's 240 less demos. Guys, that's the equivalent of taking off 8 weeks or 2 months of work. The difference is, instead of taking 8 weeks off and going to Hawaii or going to Europe or going to the Far East or going on safari in Africa, doing something really cool for those 8 weeks, you're taking 8 weeks off about 10 minutes at a time in your car over the course of a year. And that's not very sexy. That's not, if you're going to take 8 weeks off, do it in style, That's the equivalent of missing out on 40 sales. It costs you $36,000 of premium. It costs you $1,440 of first year commissions. For some of you, significantly more than that because you're higher than a 40% contract. And it'll cost you $5,400 of renewals. That's 20 grand, guys. That's the opportunity cost of doing $20,000 of income per year to do 25 demos. And guys, last week, we only had 3 people do 25 demos. 3. Let's get down here where we're getting a little bit more like some folks are doing, which is closer to 20. Guys, 20 demos, now you're under 1,000 for the year. That's 960. It's 480 demos short. It's the equivalent of taking off 4 months. It's basically taking a third of the year off. Okay. And when you take a third of the year off, you miss a third of your sales. So minus 80 of those, minus $72,000 of premium, minus $28,800 of first year commissions. So you're giving away about what, $2,200 per month, and it's another $10,800 of lifetime renewal. So basically, it's like giving away 40 grand. Just saying, I don't need $40,000 in new and renewal commissions. And guys, I know you guys, and I know there's nobody on here that would look, if you saw 40 grand on the ground, you wouldn't stop to pick it up. You know, you would. We all need it. That's significant money. Okay. So guys, let me pause just for a second and just are there any blinding flashes of the obvious, any aha moments, any wow, that makes a big difference from anybody? Love to hear from you.
Just for me, it's just one demo, like say 29 to 30. I mean, I didn't realize the compensation difference that could make, especially in a year and then 2, 3, 4 years. I mean, it's crazy.
It really is. Thanks, Chase. Guys, I'm gonna you guys be sure to mute, please. Right, for some reason I'm getting a echo there. Okay, good deal. So guys, I'm gonna shift gears on my example here real quick. Yesterday I pulled up an agent who will remain nameless, and this agent's this is a canvassing chart. And guys, if you've never checked a canvassing chart, it's very, very simple, and you really should do this. I'm actually going to show you how you can calculate on your own exactly how much a demo is worth. Not a yes, not a sale, but how much every one of your demos is actually worth. And here's how you get it. Here's how you get to your canvassing charts, guys. You just go under reports, okay, on your homepage, and you scroll down to canvassing chart. It is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th option down. And then you click run report. And when you do, it'll give you this year's canvassing chart. Now, if you want to get last year's canvassing chart, which is what you do, you go to reports, and then you toggle the year at the top, okay? Toggle it to 2020, and then click canvassing chart and run report, and you'll get last year's numbers will pop up, okay? So that's how you find a canvassing chart. So this person here, I used last year's canvassing chart and circled a couple key things. This person has been around and worked their way up to a 50-3 contract. This person had 1,944 hours worked last year. So that's 2,000 hours, 50 weeks that's 40 hours per week. So it's right at full time. 967 total demonstrations given. This person sold $156,420 of annual premium. Okay. If you want the real number, guys, what we report sometimes and what we send in should be the exact same. But if you want the exact number, then you just go to your Family Heritage Report and pull up your net annualized premium from last year for the exact number. But we're going to assume that that's spot on. And this person also closes 16.96% of his demos. That's 1 out of every 6 demos. So pretty spot on. So guys, with these numbers, I'm going to walk you through some really simple math, and I would encourage you guys to do this too. But this is how you figure out how much each demo is really worth. All right. So first off, let's take that $156,000 of premium. I rounded down just a smidge, just to make the math easy. $156,000 of premium. That person makes 50%. So that's $78,000 of first year commissions. Okay. Now the renewal factor for 3% renewal is 0.18. Okay. Whatever you make in renewals, if you make 1% renewal, it's 0.06. If you make, it's 0.06 for every 1 percentage point you have on your renewal. So if you make 2% renewals, it's 0.12. 3% is 0.18, 4% is 0.24, 5% is 0.30. Okay. So the renewals made on $156,000 of premium is $28,080. When you add those two numbers together, before bonuses, this agent makes $106,080 of total commissions just from last year's personal sales alone. Okay. Doesn't include overrides, doesn't include everything else. Now, if you take that number and divide it by the total number of demonstrations given, which was 967, that means that every single demo that this agent does, yeses and nos, are worth $109.70 a piece. Guys, if I told you I was going to pay you $109.70 to do a demo for every demo that you did, how many demos would you go do today?
A lot.
75.
Yeah, you do a lot. Maybe you do a little more. Now, guys, maybe your number is not $109.70. Maybe your number is $67.22. I don't know what it is. I didn't do this math for every single one of you guys. Do it yourself. It took me all of a minute and a half to figure this out. But knowing exactly what every demo is worth, and managers, I would really encourage you guys, as you're doing weekly business reviews this week, do this with your agents. Show them exactly what every single demo that they do is worth. Now, guys, I'm going to take it one step further. This particular agent did 967 demos, and in 48 weeks, that is averaging 20 demos per week. Okay. So how much does doing 20 demos a week instead of 30 demos cost this agent? Well, $109.70 per demo times the 10 demos, which this person is shy of doing 30. That's $1,097 of income lost per week in new and residual income. Okay. That's per week. How much does that cost this person per year? We'll just take that 1,097 and times 48 work weeks. It costs this person $52,656 of new and renewal commissions. Some of you out there are going, man, I sure hope those aren't my numbers. But guys, for some of us, it's costing us the same amount. It's just on a different scale. Guys, this doesn't even take into account that this agent's currently averaging $13,000 of premium per month, which is a $250 cash bonus on average, or $3,000 per year. Averaging 30 a week would put this person right at $20,000 per month in sales, which would be a $500 a month or $6,000. So that's an extra $3,000 of bonus money just from that. And guys, here's the big deal. Here's where the big deal is, guys. And you've heard this 100 times if you've heard it once. This pales in comparison to the lost fortune this agent will never even see and won't miss, because if we don't ever see money, don't ever get paid it, we don't look at it as losing it. Unfortunately, guys, people will work a lot harder to keep something and not lose it than they will to go get something new. It's human nature. But this agent's going to lose a lot of small fortune, maybe even a large fortune, due to not being able to grow a successful team because he or she can't, or for some reason won't, provide the example that a rookie needs to see by giving 30 demonstrations. So guys, I'm sharing that with a lot of you because there's a lot of people on here that you guys aren't yet in a leadership position, but you've verbalized that you want to, or your actions in doing some serious field recruiting has shown that you want to be in leadership. Well, guys, if you're going to be in leadership, okay, now if you're in your first week or your second week in your recruiting, we're not going to count on you to do all the training with your new people. But in short order, you will be a trainer, okay? And that's already started with several of you. But guys, in short order, you will be the example. And if you go out and you take a rookie out there that just went to sales academy and heard about the value of doing 6 demos, and then you go out and you promptly go do 4 demos in front of them consistently, you are sending them a message that says, hey, doing 4 demos is okay. My manager does 4, I'll go do 4. And guys, I promise you, some of you guys are closing 25, 35, 40%, and you can get away with it sometimes. You can get away with doing 4 demos, and some days you'll still make a sale. But guys, a rookie that comes in and closes 1 out of 8 or 1 out of 6 that does 4 demos, the overwhelming majority of the days, they're going to come home with a 0. And you come home with enough zeros in a row, that agent won't be here very long. So I hope that for some of us guys, we'll do for others what we won't do for ourselves, and we'll do something for the big picture that maybe we won't do for the small picture. But I hope whatever motivates you to figure out how to do 6 demos, I sincerely hope that you'll start doing it. If not for yourself, then for your team members and your future team members, because guys, it's pretty difficult to just turn it on and turn it off. It's near impossible for people that go out by themselves and do 4 demos to all of a sudden, when they have someone behind them, all of a sudden do 6 or 7. It's pretty difficult. And it's because of the habit that's been formed. In this case, the bad habit. And guys, I'm gonna finish up and use that to segue into talking a little bit about habits. Okay. And I'm going to use one of my most favorite tools that there is. It's a tool called the common denominator of success. Guys, this is chock full of incredible information in here and little stories and little talking points. But today, I'm going to skip the first 60% of it, and we're going to see why habit belongs so importantly in this common denominator of success. And I hope you'll take some notes here and pay really close attention. And guys, this is written back in the 1940s or 50s. So wherever it says men, just please replace men and women. But just for time purposes, I'm just going to read it the way it's written here. But men are creatures of habit, just as machines are creatures of momentum. For habit is nothing more or less than momentum translated from the concrete into the abstract. Can you picture the problem that would face our mechanical engineers if there was no such thing as momentum? Speed would be impossible, because the highest speed at which any vehicle could be moved would be the first speed it could be broken away from a standstill. Would be the first speed at which it could be broken away from a complete standstill. Elevators could not be made to rise. Airplanes could not be made to fly. And the entire world of mechanics would find itself in a total state of helplessness. Then who are you and I to think that we can do with our own human nature what the finest engineers in the world could not do with the finest machinery ever built? Every single qualification for success is acquired through habit. Men form habits, and habits form futures. If you do not deliberately form good habits, then unconsciously you will form bad habits. You are the kind of man you are because you have formed the habit of being the kind of man, being that kind of man, and the only way you can change it is through habit. The success habits in supplemental insurance selling and life insurance selling are divided into 4 main groups: prospecting habits, calling habits, selling habits, and working habits. Let's discuss these habit groups in that order. Any life insurance salesman or supplemental insurance salesman will tell you it's easier to sell life or supplemental insurance to people who don't want it than it is to find people who want it. You ever notice, guys, people that want it don't qualify for it? But if you have not deliberately formed the habit of prospecting for needs, regardless of wants, then unconsciously you form the habit of limiting your prospecting to people who want life insurance. And therein lies the only real reason for lack of prospects. As to calling habits, unless you've deliberately formed the habit of calling on people who are able to buy but unwilling to listen, then unconsciously you form the habit of calling on people who are willing to listen but unable to buy. As people that have no money, they'll listen to you all day long. They got nothing to lose. As to selling habits, unless you have deliberately formed the habit of calling on prospects determined to make them see the reason for buying life and supplemental insurance, and unconsciously you form the habit of calling on prospects in a state of mind in which you're willing to let them make you see their reasons for not buying it. As we like to say, on every sales call, a sale is made. Either you sell them a policy and protect them, or they sell you on their excuse. As to working habits, if you'll take care of the other three groups, the working habits will generally take care of themselves, because under working habits are included study and preparation, organization of time and efforts, records, analysis, etc. Certainly, you're not going to take the trouble to learn interest-arousing approaches and sales talks unless you're going to use them. You're not going to plan your day's work when you know in your heart that you're not going to carry out your plans. And you're certainly not going to keep an honest record of things that you haven't done or of results that you haven't achieved. So let's not worry so much about the fourth group of success habits. For if you're taking care of the first three groups, most of the working habits will take care of themselves, and you'll be able to afford a secretary to take care of the rest of them for you. But before you decide to adopt these success habits, let me warn you of the importance of habit to your decision. Really big part right here, guys. I've attended many sales meetings and sales congress during the past 10 years and have often wondered why, in spite of the fact that there's so much good in them, so many men seem to get so little lasting good out of them. Perhaps you've attended sales meetings in the past and have left determined to go do the things that would make you successful or more successful, only to find your decision or determination waning at just the time when it should have put into effect or practice, when it should be put into effect or practice. Here's the answer. Any resolution or decision that you make is simply a promise to yourself, which isn't worth a tinker's damn unless you form the habit of making it and keeping it. And you won't form the habit of making it and keeping it unless right from the start, you link it with a definite purpose that can be accomplished by keeping it. In other words, any resolution or decision you make today has to be made again tomorrow and the next day and the next and the next and so on. And it not only has to be made each day, but it has to be kept each day. For if you miss one day in the making or keeping of it, you've got to go back and begin all over again. But if you continue the process of making it each morning and keeping it each day, you'll finally wake up one morning, a different man in a different world, and you'll wonder what has happened to you and the world that you used to live in. Guys, here's what happened. Your resolution or decision has become a habit, and you don't have to make it on this particular morning. And the reason for your seeming like a different man living in a different world lies in the fact that for the first time in your life, you've become master of yourself and master of your likes and dislikes by surrendering to your purpose in this life. That's why behind every success, there must be a purpose. That's what makes purpose so important to your future. For in that last analysis, your future is not going to depend on economic conditions or outside influences, or a presidential inauguration or new administration or circumstances over which you have no control. Your future is going to depend on your purpose in life. So let's talk about purpose. And guys, I'm not going to continue going on into the next part of that, but I really wanted to focus on the power of habit. And guys, as they say, people dig their graves one bite at a time. Most people that pass, accidents aren't the number one killer of humans. It's heart disease. And those are people that just, oftentimes will just sit down to a meal and eat the wrong thing. They say that, and they do it over and over and over. Guys, it's been said that success is just doing the same little right things repeated daily. And failure is just doing a couple wrong things repeated daily. Okay. You get to determine that. Guys, any comments or any questions or anything anybody learned today about the value of habit and or the value of a big habit in our business, which is giving 6 demos a day?
I would say just
we have the option. You know, it's our choice as to whether or not we choose the good habits or the bad habits.
Yes, we do. We decide every day. Well, guys, thank you very much for taking some time to be today. I would really challenge and encourage you guys. The reality is it's easy to be on these calls. The challenge is, do you hop off of these calls and then run out and go do the exact same thing you were doing yesterday? Or do you take the time to review your notes for a minute? And actually, do you take the time to go on to the canvassing chart real quick and see how much did you sell last year? Okay. And go ahead and figure out, based on your commission, how much of that was first year commission, based on that renewal factor, 0.06 for every percentage point you have of renewals, and figure out your renewals, add them together, and then divide it by the total number of demos you gave. Find out, what's your demo worth? Is it worth $48? Is every demo you do worth $57 or $74? Find that number out, guys, and write that down on your demo goal card. And whenever you find yourself waning, you know, and thinking about, oh, I was just going to stop at 4 today. I'm just going to stop at 5. 3 is not too bad. I'll get 6 tomorrow. That pushes you, and that you know that every one of them is worth that amount to you guys. Because again, men form our habits, and our habits form our futures, guys. So form good habits starting today. And I'll see you guys at the top. Thanks for being on. Have a great day.